In previous cases, I told you how we already created this part. So we created one data service client to request and print the response for this purpose. So if you know, these all the things are currently not mentioned here. Let me do one thing. Let me comment out this part because I'm not using this currently. And let me do one thing. Let me print location stats because I'm using that location stats here. As you know, is there any error? No, not currently any error is showing now. So let me, what I'm going to do is system dot out dot println location stats or location stat. So that's it. And what I'm going to do, let me run COVID tracker application here. You can run from here also, but I'm running here. And this is our main method to run everything. So currently it's running our method. So let me check in build. Yeah, it's running and it will print the output for us. Okay, you can see the Java compiler using everything here. And let me check what is going to print here. Okay, it is started. Okay, so as you can see, these are the location statistics it is giving basically. Web application, each and everything. And these are the all things. After some time it will run it again and it will print me a statistics. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out this because I'm not going to print an out console. I just want to create one another thing here, which is inside models. I already created location stats application. So let me create one private string for states because I'm using as a state, then private string country. Let me control D just to use this again. Country for the country purpose. Then one another integer for total cases and another for latest total cases. So I'm just using this. Okay. So we are done with this. Now let me check some instructors. So you can say these are the methods here you can use here. I want to getter and setter methods, which is basically get string and each and everything. So I'm going to use everything here. Click OK. So it is for me, it's already created as you can see. Get state method, set state method, country, all the methods are mentioned here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to, I just comment out this part first, but now I can use this part. So as you can see, we are using these methods and we are using these methods. Get country, set country, all the methods we are mentioned here. So let us check what we are missing here. The basic method is missing. We are missing the toString method here. So let me create one toString method also here. Alt insert to get toString method. So okay. So as you can see, these are the all things I already created. And no, not in this. It is already printing me this, all the data. So this is inside the models. Let me go to the package menu here. So this is inside the models location stats. Set country is method as I mentioned here. and all the things are now loading. So this is all about the location stats and everything. But now the thing we are missing here is we need to create one controller. Why we needed the controller? To control our app as a web application. So let me keep this as it is and let me create one project inside the what we can say, this one models done, this is services done. Okay, let me create one another class. Basically I'm going to create here, which is basically controller. So let me open one controller. And why we needed controller, as I already told you, the initial thing of controllers, it's going to maintain our controlling part of uh, home file. I'm going to create only a home file here. I'm not pushing it till what we can say all the things here. I just needed a home controller because we are going to create one home controller only. I will hit the class. So I created this. Let me tell you what is these things first. Location statistics. So let me minimize this and let me zoom out this. Okay. So this is the models I mentioned, models as a package. Location stats, state, country, latest total cases, different from previous day, basically difference between the previous day and next day. Get state method to get that method, state for this, get country, set state to print that state, get country for getting that. So we are not currently using this, we are going to use it in home controller, but before that, remember we are using this get latest, set latest, these all the things we have mentioned here. So let us see why the home controller is needed. As this is, I'm deploying on a, what we can say, only a web app, we need to create an app, web application, but we are mentioning in only in this part. So we need to create one home controller app to control each and everything. So let me create one thing here, which is basically at the rate controlling part. So let me download it first and let me add one thing here, Spring Framework basics is basically this thing at the rate controller. So it will accept the all the controlling part. As you can see, this is controller. So this will add the stereotype each and etc. everything. So now this can be controlled through a web. So what is the thing I'm going to use here? So I'm going to create list each and everything to deploy it on a web. But before proceeding with web, we need to mention the what is going to it is going to use. So auto wired. Why I'm using auto wired? Let me tell you. I'm going to mention throughout this coronavirus data services. So let me copy this first. So coronavirus data services, because it is mentioned as a service, I can use this as a service, which is basically deployer for me. So let me alt enter. So it will track me to this. And as I mentioned, we can use this as a service and it will be loaded throughout this part. So this is it how we are going to do, but we have mentioned some things here like packages, each and every, etc. So before this, let me create one what we can say model, or we can say public string string public string home model. Oh, sorry, I mentioned module, but I needed model, not model. Let me alt enter this. It will accept this model UI, which is basically Spring Framework. And let me add here model. So this is going to create one model here to print or out that part. So if you know, I already created this list with what is the name of for that. Let me check first, which is basically location stats. Okay, this only I needed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a controller here. So I'm currently creating a controller. Okay, before this, I need to mention all stats, each and every etc. Because as I mentioned here, this is all stat only, all stats, all stats. Then what is the name? Basically, it's all stats only, all stats, S capital again. Okay, all stats on that coronavirus data services dot get all stats. So that's our method. So let me one thing, alt enter. So it will accept that everything. So this is all I created. Now I need to create a map and each and everything. But before the map, I need to create one thing here is @get mapping. So when I needed a get mapping, because this is not mapped already, I need to map it. And before the all the things are mapped, okay, this is basically HTTP client, but let me do one thing. Let me place slash. So it is the syntax for getting the map and each and everything here. So this is it about how I'm going to do this. But before this, you have to mention each and everything here. So as you can see, you can create here open and you can check. So my localhost client is 8080 and my port is 8080. So I can run this, and this is the API in the get client method. So let me close this first because I haven't mentioned here. So likewise, you can check your HTTP client method. So you can choose any here. Let me do one thing. Let me delete this part. Okay, so this is all about how we are going to create HTTP client here. So I'm going to control this part all over the web application. In the further things, I'm going to show you how I'm going to place that. So I'm just getting the all stacks, but in further videos, I'm going to explain you. I'm going to create one HTML file to display all the data using theme basically to print that. Here I'm not mentioning any Spring authentication part or etc. This is just a Spring Boot application. Anyone can use this to check the COVID data on the daily basis. And why I'm telling you this is the daily basis, because of this. So it will be updated every 1th hour, or we can say first hour of day, which is basically 1 a.m. in the morning when this URL is updated. So why I'm mentioning this is very what we can say, not very useful thing part of our thing, because it's when you go to this link, you can check it's updated every 26 minutes or 30 minutes. So identically I have to use this at 1 second or 1 minute. But think or consider for the testing application, I can put it's at 1 a.m. of every day. So if you want to create more efficient, you can change this part. And this is a very useful thing. It is not achieving 100% abstraction, as I told you, because I'm not mentioning any abstraction class or anything, but I'm using packages and sub packages concept to develop this. And it's synchronous, as I told you. While developing Spring application, you can go with asynchronous or synchronous method, but I'm going with synchronous method. As I told you, I created this part. So this is very synchronous method. In further part, I'm going to create home controller part, and in template part also, uh, I'm going to mention the templates, which is basically home template. You can check the application properties, each and everything here. And currently, this is the coronavirus data services running here. So service is basically going to fetch the data. Okay, cancel this part. Okay, coronavirus device services, which is going to fetch that data. Model is for what we can say, modeling the data. We can say we are going to create here methods only to display that. So I haven't created these methods directly. What I did is press alt insert in your thing and you can get generate method. You can put getter setter, getter and setter both methods, equals and hash code, two string methods. So this is all about how we are going to do. You can use here copyright methods, each and everything here, so override methods, so no need to worry about this part. How I created this is the system default, or IntelliJ IDEA will take care of creating all the things, and this is the system default. No need to worry about it's going to create. It will detect your thing and it will print your data. So hope you understand this part. In the next part I'm going to mention the home controller and each and everything.